computer has muted your line. To unmute your line, press #6.
I want to thank each of you for joining NRCA's University's Business Management webinar today. I'm Brad Beldon, President and CEO of Beldon Roofing Company, which is proudly headquartered in the great city of San Antonio, Texas. Go Spurs! That's the only thing we can be proud of, certainly not the Cowboys. My grandparents came to San Antonio at the end of World War II when my grandfather was stationed at Fort Sam after serving on the staff of General Patton. They decided to make San Antonio their home and started our family business over 66 years ago. My father, Mike Beldon, and many of y'all may know him, joined my grandparents in 1960, and I came aboard after graduating from the University of Texas at Austin in 1986. Hook 'em horns. However, I've been hanging around the roofing industry since 1976. Additionally, I've also served a number of terms on the board of directors of NRCA, and my father is a past president, and we're very proud of him for that. As for NRCA, if you're not already a member, I'd like to take a 10-second commercial break to encourage you to become a member of both NRCA and NERLC. And NERLC, for those of you who don't know, is the National Roofing Legal Resource Center, and that can get you out of a lot of trouble for a little bit of change. Like today's webinar, joining NRCA and NERLC helps you achieve an advantage over your competition. Simply go to www.nrca.net and type in join in the search box, or for NERLC, go to www.nrlrc.net, that's nrlrc.net, and click the orange join button. It'll be money well spent. Now let's get back to today's awesome seminar, which deals with creating an effective residential job folder. So there's no background interference. I think some of you all have heard I muted the phones. You can always unmute them by pressing #6. However, I will unmute the lines from time to time, as I'd like for this to be an interactive session. Be assured that if I'm not unable to get to each of your questions during this awesome presentation, I've saved ample time at the end for the Q&A. I'm also a firm believer in sharing, so I'm more than willing to share any of these documents. If you'd like them, simply email me. I gave a number of y'all the email address earlier. It's brad.beldon@beldon.com, and it's brad.beldon@beldon.com. Or you can call me at my direct number, 210-366-6969, or on my mobile at 210-854-6969. I'll also have my contact information available for you on the last slide at the end of the presentation. If this webinar doesn't save you more money than your investment today, I'll personally send you a pair of Regal movie tickets. If you don't have Regal in your marketplace, tough. If not, I'll buy a pair of movie tickets for you in your marketplace. You pay for the dinner, but the movie's on me. With that being said, I'm fairly confident no one will want to collect, but the offer is there if I don't meet my own expectation. Accordingly, let's discuss why we're all here today. You spend a great deal of time and money to generate the lead, and because of your incredible marketing efforts, your talented sales representative, and perhaps many others who were involved, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Homeowner has decided to invest in your organization. Once the high-fiving, the hooping, and the hollering are done, you now have to get down to the business of being in business. Everyone knows that the home is generally the largest single investment any of us could make. Thus, as their prized possession, you want to ensure that nothing goes wrong, and this is why I hope each of you are here today. Now let's discuss creating an effective residential job folder. Your job folder has now become the living advocate for the customer. It will live within your facility while you replace your customer's roof. This important job folder will allow you to earn your blue ribbon and provide you that red carpet service, because without a well-organized job folder, you'll lack the communication necessary to exceed the expectations, and best of all, at the end of the day, to earn referrals. It's not enough to create a job folder, but you must have the discipline each and every day to use it. Under the Beldon Way, we'd rather have a C plan with an A execution rather than an A plan with a C execution. So let's move on to the presentation. A signature is just the beginning. Your sales representative has used his or her training, has earned the respect of the customer, and has overcome all the sales objections. Finally, the customer has made a choice, and it's now your responsibility to ensure that they receive the benefits of doing business with your awesome team. Well, I apologize for that, but something happened to that slide. What you want to do is you'll start with a plan. And be prepared to work hard, because I promise you your competition is working harder than you are. You want to communicate. You'll always be juggling a lot of balls, but we'll want to stay focused. You want to communicate, and you'll aim for perfection. The Beldon way here is that we aim to be perfect each and every day. We don't hit it, but that's our target. And at the end of the day, we're all shooting for that happy customer. Most roofing organizations, I would assume, are all about the same. You have a sales organization, and we've all heard the benefits that they've promised the customer. Pride in our work, continuity of success, 66 years for us. Hey, we know roofing really well. We have the technical expertise, peace of mind, problem-free jobs, backed with integrity, pride in our past, faith in the future, better warranty. Our team works, to solve your problems, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You've heard them all. However, for whatever reason, sales and production just flat out butt heads. And what do they need? They absolutely need to learn how to communicate. Communication involves three customers. It involves the sales team, your office staff, and the production team. And in doing so, you have those three customers: the paying customer, the internal customer, and the vendor customer. And we treat every one of them exactly the same. What we do, our belief is that we keep score, we produce the work, and we sell the work. And without any of those three parts, we're not successful. And our team prefers to do this through the job folder. In doing so, we leave nothing open to interpretation. So let's visit our best friend, the job folder. Any questions at this time?
Unmuted your line.
Are there any questions at this time? If not, I'll remute.
No, thanks. We're good.
Oh, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Awesome.
The leader has muted your line. To unmute your line, press #6.
The job folder. The Beldon Way, what we did was we went and we printed all the information that we wanted on the outside of a job folder. And what you see here, we produce these for every residential job. Can y'all hit *6, please, to mute your phone? Okay, so what you see here is our standard job folder for a residential project. We have the name and address up here at the top, and that customer name and address, the main focus, I think, with all roofing contractors is we always focus on the address, because the address doesn't change, but the customer may. We use a job number and a job type. I'm sure everybody does it a little bit differently, but that's the resource that we use to ensure that we're all talking about the same job so that we can exceed expectations. And our job types for these types of folders is on the far right of the screen is commercial, new construction, sheet metal, residential, and our customer care department. We renamed our service department about 5 years ago, our customer care department, because it was our belief if we didn't get our own internal customers to buy into customer care, nobody was going to buy into it. And so anytime anybody calls it the service department, somebody around here frowns. We track the workflow. You'll see it at the top there. I approve every job that goes through. We have a thank you note, credit approval, job setup, and Access, believe it or not. Yes, we still use Access from the 90s. Timberline, which is the accounting system that we prefer to use, and whatever accounting system that you use. Our customer care department, who will schedule the job. If it is a repair job, production department, who will schedule the job. If it's a re-roof, pulling the permit, purchasing, and job inspection. And what that is as each task is completed, somebody signs off in each of those areas. Miscellaneous information here. Well, we did, our production staff asked us to include an area where sales could convey a message that wasn't normally found within our documents. And it could be anything there, VIP, do not start until a certain date, items such as that. We also, and I'm sure that everybody has this experience, we've also put the wrong underlayment down. And when you put the wrong underlayment down, you get to tear the roof off after your salesman had done such a good job of convincing the customer to upgrade. So we've included that on the front of the worksheet. We circle that with a Sharpie, on the front of the folder, excuse me, we circle that with a Sharpie to ensure that we always put down the right material. Labor, contractor, and subs is the salesman's responsibility to notify production if we'll be using either labor, contractor, and or subs. And that's all they have to do is do a checkbox right there. Job-specific information, once again, to help production. And the reason that we do this is our organization is set up. Once we sell a project, we hand it off to production, and production is responsible for exceeding the expectations of the customers from that point forward. So we'll give them sales would give production a specific contract start date, a completion date, a roofing manufacturer, insulation manufacturer. If the job, is within 100 miles of a coastline, we're very concerned about wind uplift in this part of the country. Even though we're in South Texas, we're still not that far from the coast. And our pre-conference meeting has been completed. And in those pre-conference meetings, we take the job folders in every morning, and we meet at 6 o'clock with our production team, and we go over every job folder that's going to start the following day. Change orders. On the far right, we list all the change orders, and that's to ensure that at the end of the job, when we get ready to bill the customer, to just a double verification that we didn't miss billing any change order. Once again, this is a living document, both for the customer and for yourself. Dumpster and porta potties. The sales is responsible for advising production on what they bid. Did you bid a 20-yarder, a 30-yarder, a 40-yarder, and do you need porta potties, or is the owner going to allow you to use their facilities? Job closeouts, you got to get paid, you got to go through all the steps. A job completion date, a job inspection and warranty status, are they completed? And I'll go into each of these details further. I'm just giving you all a 30,000-foot overview. Manufacturer's warranty, a notice of award sent, notice of completion sent. Did we send the manufacturer's warranty? And was the project paid out? Billing info.
You said there's sales, office staff.
If you could hit *6, I'd appreciate it. Billing info, retainage, weight scale, certified, participation in OSIP or CSIP program, so that we can let the accounting department know ahead of time what they need to be looking for. And at the very bottom, we put on every single folder, a very satisfied customer is a loyal customer. We're looking for that referral each and every day. The thank you note. We take, and with email and cell phones, the cop-out is easy. Just don't send them. I'd argue that sending them is why Mr. and Mrs. Joe homeowner invested with your team in the first place. A handwritten thank you note is the last thing they would expect. Require them on each and every job, no excuses. Okay, Amy, we are not moving. Bear with me, please. Try it another way. Okay, every one of our job folders starts with a checklist. You can't see it here, but give me a second. I'll pop up what we do with the checklist. And once again, every one of these documents, would love to share them with you. If you want them, you can get them from Amy, or you can get them from myself, brad.beldon@beldon.com. This is our residential sales checklist. Starts with a job folder, a commission sheet, a tile slate or shingle search charge, a production worksheet, and we use that production worksheet to convey exactly what needs to be done from a sales perspective over to production. It's the handshake. The Fair Credit Reporting Act release, the estimate worksheet, which includes everything, the pricing sheet, so that production knows exactly how everything was priced and that purchasing knows what to spend. On the far right there, you'll have RRP1 for third-party verification, RRP2 for a brochure, RRP3 for exemption form, and RRP4 for test authorization. I'm going to go into the renovate, repair, and painting, but I'm just letting you all know that that's where we keep that on that checklist. We ask on the checklist they need to include the roofing contract, the general conditions, the warranty. In the state of Texas, the notice of right to cancel, which is 3 days, and it varies from state to state. Copy of the lead paperwork, which is the renovate, repair, and painting, and I'll go into that in a little while. Temporary repair form. What we've learned is that we use our customer care department to help close deals. And if somebody has a leak, we will do a temporary repair for free until we're able to re-roof the project, and that's helped us close a lot of projects. If it's a combo job, they'll check there. And so you have this entire list. Those are the main items. And if you go towards the bottom, and you can see we want to know that the shingle warranty from the manufacturer has been filled out, that an email address has been collected, that the applicable code has been added to the production worksheet. We include a copy of the down payment in every job folder, a copy of the thank you note, and the sales lead. So we require each salesman to go through this list, and that's the first document that anybody sees in a job folder. This is the production worksheet, and bear with me while I open this up, please. This is the production worksheet that we use. We use this in triplicate. And really all it does is give all the information to accounting and to production on what needs to be done. And it's just a very simple way of moving that information from sales to production. The next item is my favorite topic, which is renovate, repair, and painting. If you haven't heard of this yet, it's not too late. No, just kidding. It really is probably too late. Simply type RRP into Google, and then when you get into Google, it should be one of the first one or two items, and it'll be epa.gov/leads or publications. It's a scary law, one which is just starting to attract the attention of plaintiffs' attorneys. Do your homework and ensure that your paperwork is accurate and kept with the file. I would also recommend looking at an electronic system as well. We now scan every one of these documents, and I'm going to open this up for you. We call them RRP1 through RRP7. And bear with me while they're loading. This is item number 1. We call it RRP1. What we did was we put a system in place that we numbered them, and our system will track whether or not we're missing a document. So the sales representative is responsible for verifying the age of the home, and we do that through the appraisal district in which we're working in. They copy that document, and we call it RRP1, which you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. We scan that with every job. RRP2 is a pamphlet that the EPA has given us that we have to acknowledge, the homeowner has to acknowledge receipt. We chose to name that RRP2. You can name it whatever you want, but that way we always know whether or not it's in the job folder. RRP3, and you'll see in the bottom left, the pre-printed forms. We print the numbers on them. The other ones we ask our sales team to write it on there is our residential exemption form. RRP4 is what the homeowner should know. RRP5 is our testing from the field. And if you look on the bottom as well, the original comes to the office and the duplicate goes to the customer. RRP6 is the form we created for our checklist. And RRP7 is our post-renovation inspection. Once again, all these, I'm willing to give any of y'all all the documents that we have and share them with you and hope that they will help every one of us stay out of a $32,000 fine. I'm going to unmute the phone if there are any questions right now.
The leader has unmuted your line.
Are there any questions? Am I going too fast?
No, going good.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna mute it again.
The leader has muted your line. To unmute your line, press #6.
Next item that we have is our estimate worksheets. And the one on the left is from Owens Corning. The one on the right is our own form. We asked the manufacturer for them to, if they would give us some of their documentation that would help us on missing items. Excuse me. And Owens Corning provided us with an excellent form. The publication number, for those of you who do Owens Corning, is 22124B, and I will send that to you if you want it. It's free for those of you who install Owens Corning, and it's a great form to prevent mistakes. We require that on every single residential project. And the next form. Excuse me, is our contracts. We're a firm believer in all the contracts being exactly the same, and so what we've gone to is a pre-printed form, and once again, these are all available for anybody that wants them. And what you see here is that in our contract, we don't want there to be any interpretation. We leave very few blanks for everybody to fill out. And this allows us to do two things. One, it allows everybody to be the same, and secondly, allows us to close deals the first day that we're at the home. This is page 1, and I will tell y'all, if you look on the bottom, it says revision 8/31/2011. We constantly revise this form. Anytime something happens on a job, new products come out, we print roughly 100 to 200 of these forms at a time, so that gives us the flexibility of changing them. On page 2 of the contract that we require on the form, sorry what's taking so long to load, is more general information and menu pricing. We're a firm believer in menu pricing. We provide that on every single project. And this form forces the sales team representative to do that because they're going to hand it to the customer in the pre-printed form, and the customer is going to ask about the adds and the deducts. Page 3 is more of the same. We've also included a section for unit pricing recently.
Yeah.
And page 4 is some more disclaimers. And obviously these contracts, if you want them from me, you're more than welcome to have them. I just don't know how applicable they'll be in your jurisdiction. Standard general conditions. Our sales force is hammering us all the time that they feel like they're buying selling cars because our forms are so long. But I will tell you that one of the sales pitches that we make is that on our general conditions, we tell our customer what we will do and what we won't do, and we're crystal clear about what we cover and what we don't cover. And so what we have here, and you're welcome to these as well, is there are now 47 items, page 1, 2, and 3. There are 47 items of something that's happened on a project. And soon we'll be on our 4th page. And we are constantly changing this document as well to ensure that our attorneys are happy and that we have protection against the homeowner. Contractor warranty, very similar to our general conditions. And in our marketplace, the warranty is better than the paper it's written on. A lot of our competition in this marketplace doesn't provide a handwritten warranty. It just says on the proposal a 10-year warranty. Once again, like the general conditions, we put it in writing. And you'll see here 13 items that we cover and what we don't cover on page 1. Page 2.
Protects us more than anything.
Page 2, sorry it's taking so long to load. Page 2 also incorporates our warranty transfer policy. Subsequent to me providing this to Amy and NRCA, we have since decided to move the warranty transfer policy to a 3rd page. We get more and more requests to transfer a warranty, and so we've actually created a document that's just called the warranty transfer policy. And if anybody wants a copy of that new policy, I'll be more than happy to share that with you as well. The other thing that we require in the job folder is the manufacturer's warranty. The sales representative is required to complete this document so that at the end of the ahead of time, so that at the end of the project, when we send out the final bill, they will be able to just drop this in the envelope, and the homeowner will have the actual warranty in their hands. We do not give them that at the time of sale. We always keep it for the final invoice. And that can be no matter who, whether you're using Owens Corning, GAF, anybody's shingles, they're all the same. The building permit. In San Antonio, this has become a bigger and bigger issue. In each of your jurisdictions, it may or may not be an issue. We pride ourselves on being the largest puller of permits in the roofing industry in San Antonio. We're in their office every single day pulling permits. You can pull them electronically as well. What we do, though, is we keep a copy of that in the job folder at any given time for any jurisdiction to call here, and we can fax over. We also post it on the job site. But we do require the salesperson to put that in every single job folder. The completion form. We had historically opportunities to try and get this signed by a customer. So recently we renamed the document the Job Inspection and Warranty Status Form. And what we've told the customers now is your warranty will start when you sign this document. And what we want them to do is to walk the house with us. We want to know if there's a problem. We want to know if there's a problem up front. We don't want them to go tell their next-door neighbor and the 5 adjoining houses that they had a problem. We want to address it up front if there is any issues. And then once again, we scan this document we put this document into our job folder and scan it for future use. At the very bottom, it is the team representative's responsibility after the job is closed to follow up with the customer to address any other additional concerns and to request referrals. That's been a good source of referral business for us. And the best jobs to close are obviously the ones that are referrals. The next item is my favorite item, and we call that the KISS program, Keep It Safe and Secure. Everybody calls it something different, It's a preventive maintenance program, and what we've done differently is that for a residential project, we will provide the homeowner with a flat rate for that program, and what we'll do is we'll go out there and inspect it once a year. We'll provide them a checklist and maintain that roof for a period of 1 year from that inspection. And we will sell that on a new roof, and we will sell that on a re-roof. We sell it both residentially and commercially with a fixed rate residentially and with a monthly fixed rate for a commercial project. That document is rather large. If you want to copy that document, I have both the new roof format and a re-roof format, and I'll be more than happy to share those with you as well. For those of you who jumped on late, my email is brad, B-R-A-D, .beldon@beldon.com. And if I don't respond to your email, it may have gotten stuck in the junk folder or blocked. My direct number is 210-366-6969. And what we like about the KISS approach is it's unique to preventive maintenance. Everybody has a preventive maintenance program, and what we've done is we don't want the customer for just one job. We want to own that customer for life. And we're doing a very good job of selling these preventive maintenance programs. The final item that you'll find, that we find in the job folder for us, is the final billing. That's the best part about it, is getting paid. And we take this document along with the other 20-plus documents, and we scan them at the end of a job. And we keep each and every paper that went through that job in a permanent electronic file. Excuse me. We use a program called Laserfish. There's a number of them out there. We've spent a lot of time on it. We're in our 8th year of paperless, and I'm more than willing to assist anybody if they're interested in getting into a paperless system. It's done wonders for us. We gain access to these job folders from anywhere around the country, anywhere around the world. If you have web access, you have access to your job folders. And what used to happen at our facility, and I'm sure it happens at many of yours, is that there'll be pages over the loudspeaker. Has anybody found Mrs. Smith's job folder? Does anybody know where Mr. Jones's job folder is? Well, that doesn't happen anymore. When we went paperless with these electronic job folders, everybody can access all the information at any given time. However, I will say that we learned the hard way. We still produce a paper job folder from the start of the job through the completion of the job, and then we scan it again at the completion of the job in the event that there were other documents added, and then we recycle the paper. The key to the success of these job folders is very simple. Communicate, 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 and communicate. I want to personally thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us for the webinar. It's the sharing of this information between professional roofing contractors which will help set us apart from your competition. I'm now going to unmute the phones for a Q&A period. If you do happen to jump off the line during the Q&A, and I'll be more than happy to go back and open any of these slides, if you do happen to jump off, please, NRCA will be sending out a survey at the end of this to the email that was used to register for the program. Please take a few minutes to complete it, as my compensation is based solely on your responses, so 11 out of 10 would be perfect for me. No, just kidding. NRCA uses this information to improve our programming and allows us to exceed the expectations of our members. So I'm going to unmute the lines and open up for Q&A now.
The leader has unmuted your line.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the beginning, and we'll open up whatever slide anybody has any questions on. All right.
Hey, Brad, this is Lisa. I'm Chris in Oregon.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Can you say again what that scanning program is you use? Is it Laser Stitch?
Laserfish. L-A-S-E-R-F-I-C-H-E.
F-I. Okay,
Yep.
great.
Laserfiche.
Oh, CH. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And we love the program and have been using it for over 8 years. We started with 4 scanners. When they sold us the program, they wanted to sell us 1 scanner. And like a typical roofer, we told them they didn't know our business. So we bought 4 scanners. That was 8 years ago. We now own over 40 scanners.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any used ones you want to sell?
We're looking to buy them.
Okay.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Hey, Brad, yeah, this is John McCaffrey at Kennedy Roofing. What kind of resistance did you run into in implementing a paperless program? And what kind of time frame did it take to actually get it in place and up and running?
That's an excellent question. And we ran into obstacles for about the first year. When we set up our program, I'll tell you what, I'm going to mute and unmute so that we won't have the interference.
The leader has muted your line. To unmute your line, press #6.
When we set up the Laserfiche program, it's very much like Windows Explorer in that you can create folders, and then you tag those folders with templates. And what was happening was we were trying to create too many folders, and we made everybody's life miserable in doing so. So ultimately, we made a large bucket, threw everything in the large bucket, and just tagged it with templates so that you could easily find it. Each job is scanned under a job number, and you can scan when you pull up that job number. It will pull up every single document by type. It'll have a contract document, a warranty document, a production worksheet document, an RRP1 document, RRP2 document, et cetera, et cetera.
The leader has unmuted your line.
I've unmuted the line. Are there any other questions?
Can you provide your contact information again, Brad?
Sure. It's Brad, B-R-A-D, .Beldon, B-E-L-D-O-N, at Beldon.com. And my direct number is 210-366-6969. And my mobile is 210-854-6969. And you know, there's, for those of you who haven't heard of it, Dataforma is another great product. When we were getting into Laserfiche, we looked at Daryl's product, Dataforma, and it is also an excellent product for an electronic repository. Matter of fact, his product is designed for a roofing contractor, where Laserfiche is more designed for education and medical.
I'm sorry, this is Carrie Makeda with CDM Network. I was curious how you made the decision to choose Laserfiche over that.
Over any other product?
Over Dataforma.
I'm not sure that I would make the decision to use Laserfiche today over Dataforma today. Probably not. I would probably switch and use Dataforma because it's designed for roofing contractors. When we got into it, we have our own MIS department. So Laserfiche gave us the flexibility to write any programming and to interface with Laserfiche as we saw fit. So we actually can pull documents out of Laserfiche, out of the SQL tables in Laserfiche, and use them however we want, which is nice. We can put emails into Laserfiche, which you can do with Dataforma. And there's a bunch of other ones. I'm not picking one or the other. I'm just familiar with those two. So we store all of the file formats in their original form. So if I want to put a Word document in Laserfiche or Dataforma, it stays as a Word document. If I want to put it as a PDF, it stays as a PDF. If I want to put the entire email, it will stay in there with attachments, so that when you open it, it will come up as the exact same email, and you can reply to it at that time. The beauty of a product like Laserfiche, which has the open source that we like, is that we wrote a program to where we write in the subject line the job number, and in the copy line we put laserfish@beldon.com. Every email that goes out of here, and hopefully every email that's responded to, automatically goes into the job folder without anybody doing anything. And we wrote a script to do that. And so that allows us to store all of our emails. If we send an email out to Mrs. Jones and she sends it back and she copies that email, it'll put her response into the job folder without us doing anything.
Brad, I got a question for you if nobody else has a question at this time.
Sure. I'm here as long as y'all want.
Just your personal thoughts on why you have decided with your company to continue using hard copy paper first and then scan everything into a paperless format instead of starting from the beginning with a paperless format, say, just for an example, use an Excel file to fill out all your information, with the exception of your signatures. I understand those forms would have to be scanned in, but what are your thoughts in just starting from the beginning with that instead of so many pieces of paper having to be scanned at the end of the completion of the job?
Okay, well, I probably didn't do a good job of explaining what we do. We do scan every document at the beginning of the job by document type. At the end of the job, and we scan them throughout the job by document type. At the end of the job, we take every piece of paper. We don't staple anything. Everything is put in with paper clips. We remove the paper clips and we just stack everything on top and we scan it and we call it a ZZ archive. And all that we do there is, in essence, we've scanned every document twice, and what we're looking for is any document that inadvertently didn't get scanned. And then we take that document and we send it to a recycle center that shreds everything.
Okay.
I guess it's just a necessary to have the paperwork, the hard copy. It's just a necessary evil to have a hard copy so that you can actually writing the stuff down instead of doing it.
It was our belief that you didn't have to have it. It was production that came back and argued that you did have to have it and that they couldn't produce the work without it. So we were not sending it through. Everything was electronic for the first 6 months. We went back to hard copies while the job was being done, so to appease production's concerns that they didn't have all the paperwork at their fingertips.
Okay. So if your production department had the ability to go online and review all the documents that sales and yourself had put or implemented prior to production, they would be able to then continue the paperless process.
Oh, they have the access. They choose not to use it.
Okay.
Everybody has the access. But what we found was we now allow them, they take the job folder with them in their trucks, and we're not worried about the job folder getting lost because it's already been scanned.
Okay.
And so we allow them to take all that information with them. And yes, we use iPads, we use digital cameras, we use all that. We use iPhones to get in, but they prefer to have everything in their hand that they can read on a piece of paper.
Okay. Thank you, Brad.
Brad, on your program, does it allow anything where you can limit access so certain people can only see certain things on what you scan in for the job folders?
That's an excellent question. Yes, and the main item that we block, you can every document type can have a different level of security. The main document that we lock down and only 3 or 4 of us can see it is the payment. Whether it's a credit card number or a check, once that's in the system, that document is actually shredded before it gets past my office. And only a few of us can actually see that document. So yeah, that's an excellent question. We also found out about 3 or 4 years later that our legal documents were accessible. So we started tagging legal documents a certain way, and those can only be seen by our legal department. It's a big learning curve when you get into a paperless environment. Does that answer your question?
Yep. Thank you. Can you also scan different sizes, like big blueprints, or you just save them as a file, or how does?
We have an O-Safe scanner, a full-size scanner, so we can scan any size blueprint. We try and request, from a commercial perspective, every project in electronic format, and we just upload it to that job. If need be, we'll bust open a set of drawings and just hand scan every document, put it in there one time, and it's there forever. We also do with submittals approved and submittals submitted and submittals approved. So, for instance, we'll scan all the submittals before they leave the salesman's desk, and then we'll scan them when they come back from the architect as well.
Brad, are your commercial job folders much different than your residential one, or do you have different forms, and would you share those with us also?
Sure. The main thing that we did differently with the, are y'all getting interference?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna mute it again, and then I'll come back.
The leader has muted your line. To unmute your line, press #6.
What we found over time when we entered to the paperless market was that the job folder that I showed you for residential became increasingly more difficult to handle in the paperless environment because everybody was just shoving the documents in without looking where they went. So we brainstormed as a team, and we came up with a 3-ring binder with approximately 25 tabs. And everybody is required to put the document behind the tab that it goes behind. And that tab is a document type in our paperless system. So after that document is scanned and tagged, it's 3-hole punched, put into the 3-ring binder. At the end of the project, we take the 3-ring binder, we pull all the tabs out, leave the documents in that exact order, scan the entire pile as one document called ZZ Archive. That's just a choice we made. And in theory, every document, when you pull up a ZZ Archive, they should all be in exactly the same order, be it the production worksheet, the contract, then the general conditions, then the warranty, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how we approached it. I'm going to unmute and see if that addresses your questions.
The leader has unmuted your line.
Did that address your?
Yes, and would we be able to see the different tabs that you use and your format and so forth for your commercial job folder?
Sure. If you email me that you'd like to see the commercial as well.
Okay.
And I'll send you a PDF of the tabs, and we print them onto. We buy tabs. I don't remember the name of the company we buy them from, but you get them on the internet. Blank tabs, and then that's not the name of the company, but they're blank tabs, and we print them on our printer. And we made 100 sets, and we just keep reusing the tabs in the 3-ring binders. We did find that the Staples heavy-duty 3-ring binder, the D binder that Staples sells, is the best binder for the constant opening and closing that we use day in and day out for that type of job folder.
Hey, Brad. Daniel Kennedy.
Yes.
I think the company uses Habdex.
Which one?
Habdex. EABDEX.
Oh. Are y'all doing the same thing?
Yes, sir. Some smart guy told us to do something like that.
You listened to one of these before. What else? I'm here to help, so ask anything you'd like.
On the forms, do you have them all? If we just say we want the forms, do we have to specify which ones, or just send you an email and you'll
Send me an email, and I'll send you all the forms in a PDF.
Okay.
That's not a problem. And if you don't understand anything on the forums, please call me or email me. Those forms my father and grandfather started. They've been updated 50 times each.
Hey, Brad.
Yes.
Laserfish that you use, does that put on your computer anyway?
No, it sits on its own SQL server. And so if everybody, I'm having a problem hearing, if everybody could hit *6 and then #6 to unmute, it would help. We have Laserfish sitting on its own SQL server, and so accessing that has not been a problem. Now, I will tell you, it's a data hog, and we're over a terabyte of data in 8 years. Certainly, there's got to be more questions.
And the second one was Dataforma?
Dataforma. Daryl Moronic.
What was that?
His name is Daryl Moronic. It's a great program designed for roofing contractors.
Hey, Brad.
Yes.
Lisa, again. I have a question. Do you find that you've got multiple documents as you're scanning them, and each person, changes it a little bit? Does it go back into the folder, and then you've got several dated, so that you know which is the most current, or how do you handle that?
Everything is timestamped.
Okay. So then, are you wasting a lot of space for that? So do you keep every single document?
No, because we're scanning at a TIFF level, and at a TIFF 4. TIFF 4 is a very small document, and so now, okay, that's a good question though. So let's say I'm still having a lot of interference. I'm gonna mute and then come back.
The leader has muted your line. To unmute your line, press #6.
Okay, Lisa, what we have found is since we went to a document type, for instance, let's say you have a change order. So change order 1 is a change order. Change order 2 is still a document type of a change order. So you can sort in Laserfish by document type, and then you can resort that list by date. And so you can start with the newest one and work out, and that's what we try and teach everybody here. Because if you're on a project for a year, residential work, it's a no-brainer. But if you flip to the commercial side of an equation and you're on a project for an extended period of time, it's not unheard of that we have 500 documents of some sort for any given job. And so we resort them in 2 different ways. I hope that answers that question. But let me know. I'm going to unmute.
The leader has unmuted your line.
Can you hear me now? Lisa? Does that help? Lisa? Does that help? Any other questions? Come on, there got to be questions out there.
I have a question. Can you elaborate a little bit on your KISS program for the residential side?
Sure. We charge a flat rate. I don't think I can give you that rate on the phone or on this call, but it's certainly printed on our document, and I'm more than willing to share that with you. It's a flat rate, and we guarantee a discounted rate on any other additional work on the house or the commercial building. We guarantee against 3 punctures a year. If your mechanical contractor punctures the roof, we'll come out and fix it 3 times. And then we also provide a checklist so that you can submit that to your roofing manufacturer to ensure that your warranty is kept in place. And it's for the residential, it's a flat rate, and for a commercial building, we start at a flat rate and then charge monthly by the size a square foot price, a very small building, or a 10,000 square foot building is less than $100 a month, is what we charge. The other item is that we also provide them expedited service, so they move up to the top of the list in the event that they should have a problem. I did look up the phone number for Dataforma if y'all want to write it down. It is 866-764-9992. That's 866-764-9992, and ask for Daryl. And it's a great program, and it's DATAFORMA. And I will tell you all that if I had to do it again, I would probably, and unfortunately this is recorded, so Daryl will probably be really happy with me, I'd probably go back and I'd buy his product because it's definitely written for roofing contractors, whereas Laserfish isn't. Dataforma, D-A-T-A-F-O-R-M-A.
Did you say both of them allow to save emails?
Daryl's program is written in MySQL, and I see no reason that you couldn't.
Brad, we haven't been able to save emails on Dataforma yet.
Okay, well, if there might be a workaround.
Yeah, there are workarounds on it. You can copy it over to a correspondence, and it works fine.
Well, but you won't have the attachment. So what I would suggest, and I don't use Dataforma, but what I would suggest is if you have an email, and any of y'all can try it with an attachment, if you go to File, Save As, and then you'll get a dialog box that'll pop up. You want to change that to a Outlook message format. Save it to your desktop, and you'll get an envelope on your desktop. That will save the entire document. That will allow you to drag it into virtually any program to save it in the original with all the original content. So you go to in any email, go to File, Save As, and then change the type to to an Outlook message format. And if you have any problems with that, call me and I can walk you through it. It's very simple. I'm fairly confident that workaround would work on Daryl's system.
Yeah, I think it will.
And the best part about it is that it will keep the attachments. I mean, everybody's the same. We all get tons of PDFs and tons of JPEG images and TIFFs, whatever, because everybody's protecting their rear ends, right? I mean, that's what we're all in it for at the end of the day, other than make a profit, is to protect the other side of the equation. And so we save every single thing that comes through here, or we attempt to save everything that comes through here. And so we're sticklers. If we see an email fly through here without a job number attached to it, somebody forwards it to Laserfish.
You're like a little bit more advanced than that.
No, I've just been doing it for 8 years. It's no more advanced. All I did was we took a manila folder and we scanned it. It just sounds fancier, right? It's no different than it's an electronic repository of the exact same documents. That's all it is. And so we're storing it. Well, it's not in the cloud. It's in our own cloud. But we store it on a big server, and we take the tapes home. That's the only thing different. It'd be no different than you taking all those file cabinets, throwing them back of the F-250, and taking them home for the weekend. We just happen to put them in a briefcase and carry them home. It look like James Bond. I will tell you, though, that if you do get into that, you got to be careful about those tapes. And if you start taking your dad off site, by God, I hope you're going straight home and that you carry them and you never leave them in your car and carry them in a briefcase. And if you stop at 7-Eleven, that you take them with you wherever you go and do not let those out of your hand.
Brad, do y'all destroy those right after you scan those in?
Yes, sir. We We have a service that comes in and we lock them in a big bin, big PVC bin that we have 4 of them in the building, and we put every document in there and they get shredded and recycled. Once the job is billed and final, the document is thrown away.
Okay.
And I will tell you that that was probably the hardest thing that we went through. Looking back 8 or 9 years ago, we were all high-fiving when we threw away the first job folder, but it wasn't easy to do. And I'm sure that there were people here who put them in their drawers, and there are probably still some folders that we don't know where they are. But I don't care anymore because we've already got all the documents stored into Laserfish. And the beauty of that is, let me give you an example of why something like that can help you exceed customers' expectations. For instance, Mr. and Mrs. Joe homeowner calls you and says, "Hey, Mark, we're looking at selling our home, but I can't find the warranty paperwork. Mr. and Mrs. Joe homeowner, can you give me your address?" We type it into our system. Whatever comes up with that address in it, let's say there are 10 options. You select the option that matches, and you go in there and you select warranty. You right-click, email the document, and it emails it in a PDF, and the homeowner's got it before you hang up the phone. That's customer service. And that doesn't make me any better than anybody else. It's just, we're all exactly the same. You just have to go look for it in a file cabinet, whereas 8 years ago we decided we didn't want to do that anymore. And we didn't want to run the risk. And the reason that we did that was we had a horrible fire in the 60s, and our building burned to the ground, and my father swore we'd never do that again. So when the opportunity arose that we could go paperless 8 or 9 years ago, my dad jumped on the idea, and was with hesitation, I would add. But we're down the road, and in a year and a half, we will be outside of our 10-year warranty period on any project completed in the last 10 years will be in our Laserfish system. Other than that, it's in microfiche because we still went ahead and threw the job folders away.
Brad, how do y'all document when y'all scan them each time?
You know, that's a great question. I will tell you that we went and bought about 30 stamps that said scanned. Nobody uses them anymore. And so at some point you just have to trust. This was hard for me, and my father insisted, you have to trust your employees that they're going to do the right thing. And I said, but Dad, if they don't scan it in there, we'll never find it. My father looked at me without blinking an eye about 8 or 9 years ago and said, what if he or she put it in the wrong job folder? You think you'd ever find it there?
You're right.
And you know what? I never looked back because you won't. You put in that job folder and you put in one job folder off, you'll never find the document ever again. So it's just personal accountability, and we push personal accountability here every single day. It's ongoing. Every day, push, push, push. You're responsible for ensuring that you exceed the expectations of the customer. And in doing so, one of those responsibilities is making sure that all of the documentation is in the folder so that anybody can look up that folder online and provide excellent customer service to that customer. It's not easy. Look, we're 8 or 9 years into it, and it's still a struggle. But it would be no different than what you would go through if you were using a file cabinet.
No, you're right. Misfile things are always an item.
And you're not watching it 24/7, right? So you don't know what happens after 5 o'clock in the production office or on a Saturday. But if you had a disgruntled employee that walked off with 5 files, you'll never see him again, right? If a disgruntled employee walked off with 5 files of mine today, he may get 1 or 2 documents that weren't scanned, but he's going to miss the other 98 or 99% of them are already in the job folder. So that, you don't have that concern there.
And every time you scan it, it's a separate document, and y'all just sort it by date order.
We sort it by date order, and we sort it by document type. So a change order, okay, so let me go at 30,000 feet, and we're only talking jobs. So we have a job template. We also have an American Express template. We have an accounts payable template. But if we look at just the job template, This is the way we set it up. And if anybody wants to get on a plane and get on Southwest and fly down here, I'll spend a day with you and show you what we did. So we have a job template. Underneath that job template is a document type. So a change order would be scanned into a job template, and it would be called change order. Everything after that, once you put the job number in, the computer automatically renames those documents, and it adds the job number, the document type, and the customer name to every document. So let's say it was job 2000 and it was for Mrs. Jones at 100 Main Street. It would say job 2000, Jones residence, 200 Main Street, change order. That would be the description that you would see without even having to sort anything. And the system automatically does that every 5 minutes. Now, I don't know how Dataforma does it, but I'm sure he has something similar to that. Because Daryl knows what he's doing. And once again, and this is not a sales pitch for one system over the other, there's just one system that's designed for the roofing industry, and that's it. I don't own it, though. But there's Timberline has their own scanning programs, and obviously this wasn't designed as a scanning promotion webinar, but it is a form of our job folder, is that it is an electronic job folder that happens to be paper until the job is finished.
Do you integrate Timberline at all with it?
We have tried, and the only way that we are able to integrate Timberline with it is through we actually pull the data out of Laserfish and repost it on our intranet, and then we match it against the Timberline data. That is not a function of Laserfish. That's a function of our MIS department.
Right.
Now, Daryl's system fully integrates.
With Timberline?
No, with his accounting system.
Oh, okay.
He's still developing that, the accounting system.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's on his, and please jump in because I don't know Daryl's system because I don't use it, but everything that's in Daryl's system integrates with whatever is available.
Right.
What other questions? Come on, there got to be more questions.
You'll probably get email.
I take emails, I'll take questions, I'll take visitors, but you got to like barbecue if you come to Texas.
Hey, Brad?
Yes.
When you're routing documents per se to a job folder, like the paperless system we have barcodes. So once it's scanned in, it reads that barcode that we have printed off on that document. When you're scanning in a document for a job, how do you know, or how does the program know where to route it to?
We do that as well. Do you use Laserfish?
No, we use, it's called a CNG or Cabinet NG.
Okay. We use, on any document that we print internally, we print a barcode on it, and it scans it to the exact location that we want it to be, so that we could stack 500 documents, and nobody has to put it where it needs to go.
And so I guess it has a unique ID for, say, a job number and a tab, per se.
Exactly. Exactly. And with NRCA's ANSI SPRY program, and here's another 10-second commercial, if you haven't gotten involved in NRCA's ANSI SPRY UL program, you're missing out because A, it's code, B, you're going to get sued one day, and C, it's code. So I strongly encourage you to get involved. What we've done, and I know NRCA hates it, but we get barcodes on our labels so that we can barcode them and scan them into the job. And UL just approved them adding a barcode to our label just yesterday. So, yes, you can barcode, and I'm sure Daryl's system would allow you to barcode. For Timberline, the plug-in is called QuickFields. We also use that for HR. So when you print an employee document, we print out a barcode and then stick it to the back of the document, and then we can scan all the documents at one time because all the scanners read both sides of a document. And so the back side will have the barcode, and it will tell it that it's Paula Jones, a PAF form, and to drop it into that area. Paula Jones, an insurance form, drop it in that area. So yes, we do use that as well.
So do you print your barcodes separate from your document? You don't actually say if you're printing it out of whatever it may be, then you're actually slapping a label or a barcode on it afterwards. Is that correct?
It's correct, but we do both. For time tickets, we print the barcode on the time ticket right when we print the time ticket. And so we scan every single time ticket at the end of the day in one massive batch, and it goes to time tickets for that job number. And so we can look back 2 years, 3 years. We know who was on that job on any given day.
Gotcha.
That's also how we track the sheet metal as well. Same way.
What do you mean?
Well, we barcode the sheet metal time tickets.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so we know what crew was there in addition to the built-up crew, shingle crew, whatever other crew was on the job site.
What system do you use the barcode? Is it something that's already in there?
It's Quick Fields. It's part of Laserfish.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then we wrote a program to run the scripts that generate our own barcode for the job template type fields that we have. Nobody has any other questions?
I do. How frequently do you back up your system?
We back it up. We actually back up all day long. We have another server that backs up, but we back up every night. We back up all day long in increments. We do a full backup every night, and we remove off-site once a week. We have 4 rotating copies. So there's always 4 copies. There's a copy in 4 different locations at any given time. But each copy is 1 week behind. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. So like the copy that I take with me is only 1 week behind. The copy that's stored in a vault is the 4th week behind, and then there's 2 other copies that move over other locations.
And what's your take on cloud computing?
I think it's an excellent opportunity. We have we've removed Exchange, and we've moved into the cloud with Rackspace, and they provide our email service. They provide a service, too, for archiving all of our email for a quick archive search. It's an excellent way to ensure that you get all of your emails coming and going in your business, and you can search by word, by sender, by recipient. It's an incredible service. We pay roughly $10 a head per month for that service, and it allows us to focus more on the items like the gentleman was asking about, the barcoding. That's not something you find on the shelf for a roofing company. It allows us to focus our efforts on our MIS department on the things that make us money rather than the things just cause us a lot of headaches.
What did you call the service you went to when you removed Exchange?
Rackspace. R-A-C-K-S-P-A-C-E. They're a cloud computing company, one of the largest in the country, in the world. And so what we've done is we've tried to take everything that didn't make us money and put it in the cloud. Because at the end of the day, you're still paying for that hardware. You're still paying for the maintenance. You're still paying for your MIS department to interface with that. Let somebody else worry about it. Worry about the things that can make you money. For instance, if you put the wrong shingles on or the wrong underlayment, that's going to cost you a lot more than it would be if you had 30 addresses at Rackspace for a year, right? So we focus on making sure that those job folders and the communication internally is as close as we can get to perfect. It also helps to be a little anal and a little type A. What else? Come on, there's got to be more questions.
Brad, to get back to less technical issues, you talked about your KISS program and a 10,000 square foot building you is roughly charged $1,200 a year. Is that a preventative maintenance program, or is that only used when something actually, they have an issue that you have to go out and service, or how do you run it?
It's both. We do an annual inspection, we take a checklist, and we do the repairs that are necessary, and then we provide the 3 punctures, and then we provide discounts on any other additional work.
Okay, so once you do the inspection and whatever the repairs that are covered by that inspection, if they have something outside of punctures, do you charge them for that?
Yes, sir, but at a discounted rate.
Okay. And you bill them on a monthly rate or for that program, or is it all up front?
We bill on a monthly rate because we thought that would help people, but they still pay it on a yearly basis. And I can't answer that. I don't know why. I don't understand the logic behind that. The whole theory was to help people with their cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't the issue. The issue was what peace of mind did we provide them through that KISS program. And also gave them the documentation to ensure that the roofing manufacturer didn't disallow any warranty claims in the future because their warranty said you must properly maintain this roof.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, don't worry about it.
So, I mean, it's what our philosophy on that was what can we do to be in our customer's living room or their building at no cost to them, minimal cost to them, and for us not to lose money. Right? At the end of the day, don't you still just want them to call you, top of mind awareness?
Right.
Right. So our system covers our expenses, reduces their expenses, and it's a win-win for both of us. And so if Beldon Roofing is sitting inside of Joe's pool hall with a maintenance contract for $500 a year, you know and I know I'm not making any money on that. But when Joe gets hit by a hailstorm, or Joe gets hit by, or Joe's roof just goes out, over time, who's Joe going to call? I'm hoping he's not calling anybody but Beldon Roofing.
Right.
And that was the intent behind our program. It's very unique. It's different than what anybody else offers in this marketplace. It's not your typical preventive maintenance program. Although we do offer that too, but we charge more money for it.
So this KISS program is just on roofs that you've installed, versus a maintenance program would be maybe on a building that you didn't necessarily do the roof.
No, no, we do it for both. If we go to somebody else's roof and there's maintenance to be done prior to bringing it up to a warrantable condition, we obviously charge for that. We charge the full rate. From that point forward, though, we offer the program at a monthly rate, and then we offer discounted services.
Okay.
And that particular part of the program is probably our biggest selling one, not what you would think would be where the customer who just invested $20,000 on their home or $100,000 on their building would be going to, right? You would think it'd be the other way around. And what we preach to our team is that we want to solve that customer's headaches. They'll pay you to do that. And with a preventive maintenance system similar to our KISS program, you would not buy a new car and drive it off a lot and never change the oil. And once we tell a customer that, it almost sells itself.
Mm.
But we're a stickler, too. When we make that presentation, we're a stickler for breaking it down to the cost per day. What's the life expectancy, and then we get it down to the cost per day. So if it's 5 years and you divide the cost by 365 divided by 5, and what is it going to cost per day? And it's usually, I don't care what it is, unless you're roofing the Taj Mahal, it's usually less than the cost of a number one at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank
right?
you.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you break it down into that little number, it's a very small number.
Yeah.
And so if you're providing that premium service to them of being able to, if you communicate and you deliver, he's going to tell 10 friends. If you don't deliver, he's going to tell 100.
Right.
And that's why, for us, the job folder is the key component to doing that every single day. It's like a Bible here, is that everybody, we live and die with that job folder. Because without that job folder, none of us have a job. I don't have anybody to manage, and they don't have anybody, we don't have anybody to put on the roofs. If somebody doesn't turn in one of those job folders, nothing happens. Any other questions? I still see there are 56 people, and we've only had 4 or 5 asked questions. Come on, there's got to be more questions. We're here to help. And the NRCA wants everybody to be a professional. No other questions? Okay, well, let me thank you all again, and please, I ask that you fill out the survey. It'll make NRCA better and allow us to continue this sort of programming in the future. And if you have anything that you want from me, I'm going to pop that up one more time. Anything that you want from me, it's brad.beldon, B-R-A-D.beldon, B-E-L-D-O-N, at beldon.com. My direct number is 210-366-6969. My mobile number is 210-854-6969. I can't thank you all enough for participating today, and I hope you all have an awesome afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Bye.